Today's batch of SAP S/4HANA MM training. We have taken a number of classes and covered a number of topics such as master data relating to material as well as relating to vendors. Before that, we have also discussed how to create one enterprise structure and how to assign the FI data to that enterprise structure. So today we are taking one topic here, that is the procurement cycle. We also call it P2P cycle. P2P cycle. P2P cycle. So the full form of P2P cycle is very simple. Procurement to pay cycle. Procurement to pay cycle. Sometimes we also call it purchasing to payment. Purchasing to payment. So in any organization, we have one company code and we have one plant. We had also assigned that plant to that company code. In that company code, we have maintained the FI data. In that plant, we have maintained the material ledger data. Now, we are taking that company code or that organization for the real time, and we are taking it for the procurement. Before procurement in any organization, if you see the scenario, yeah. So before doing any procurement in the whole organization, what they do, they gather the requirement. So there is one procurement department in the center, and there are many working centers who are working in the organization. Number one is the production house. Number second is the warehouse. Number third is the plant maintenance. Number fourth is the project sites. From all the different working centers, they are finding the requirement. So the step number one is in any procurement cycle. What is the step number one? Determination of requirement. Determination of requirement. So how can we determine the requirement? Like we can tell to each and every department, one person is responsible there. Maybe production head, warehouse head, plant maintenance head, or project site head. We can tell them to gather the information, collect the information for the upcoming requirements, and update those like information or update those requirements to the procurement department. There is one sub-organizational level, purchasing organization. We know very well about purchasing organization. It is one of the sub-organizational unit or level in any like organization. And the main responsibilities of one purchasing organization is to carry out all the activities relating to procurement. Once the information are gathered through like one Microsoft Excel sheet, one by Microsoft Word file, or like in written, means there is one document where all the requirement are gathered. Now moving further, so I'm doing one thing. Okay, so once the requirement are gathered, so what can we do? We can do one thing. Yeah. So procurement department knows about the requirement. In the P2P cycle, procurement to pay cycle, once the requirements are gathered, now we are moving further. Requirements are in the unofficial documents such as one kind of Microsoft Excel sheet or one kind of Microsoft Word file. Now these requirements can be taken into one purchasing documents. So if you see the scenario of purchasing documents, these are of two types, internal and second, external. Internal and internal purchasing documents is purchasing requisition, and external purchasing documents are purchase order. After that purchase order, we can say request for quotation, we can say contracts, planning, scheduling agreements. Combinedly, we call them outline agreements. So in this loop, we can create one internal purchasing documents purchase requisition, or that purchase requisition can further be converted into one RFQ, that is request for quotation. In the answer or in the reply, one vendor or supplier can maintain the quotation or can provide bid. After creating purchasing document, there is one thing, inventory management. We call that process inventory management. After purchasing documents creation, inventory management is all about the movements, goods movements, such as goods receipt, we call it GI, goods issue, GI, transfer posting. Sometimes we call it like other things are also there. After inventory management, we do one thing, invoice verification. Because with the delivery, vendor or supplier will send the invoice. And as the purchasing party, we will do the verification of that invoice. So we will map the data with the inventory management data, and invoice verification will be done after that payment. Now see the scenario. Procurement started from here with the requirements, and it is ending here when we are doing the payment to the vendor or the suppliers. So that is the scenario. Now I'm inserting one more slide here. So determination of requirement, one more time, determination of requirement. Actually, there are two types of procurement, and it is directly linked with the determination of requirement also. Suppose we have an organization, and in that organization we have one core activity, because any organization, any industry depends on its core activity. So in that organization, what core activity we have? We have the production, we have the manufacturing. Manufacturing of what? Suppose we are doing the manufacturing of one product, so we will call it finished goods. So there is one finished goods that we are producing, therefore we are doing the manufacturing. Now we can take the example for the finished goods. It can be any electronic items such as router. Very simple example I'm taking, network router, or I can take the example of touchpad, or I can take the example of one smart board, smart board for the classrooms, or we can take the example of LED TV, one mobile phone. These can be the finished goods. These can be the finished products. Now there is one thing, we are in the business of manufacturing of one finished goods. So I'm just calling it finished goods. I'm not taking anything like here end product, finished goods. So our core activity is we are doing the manufacturing of what? Manufacturing of finished goods. Finished goods. Very simple term. Now, if we are producing finished goods, so obviously we will be having customer base. If we are doing the manufacturing, so we will be having the customer base, and customers are also having the requirements. That requirement we call customer requirements. So there is one department which is directly dealing with the customers. I can call that department marketing, or that can be CRM, customer relationship management, or sales and distribution. So three departments are directly in the contact of customers. Through any departments, customer requirement can be placed. But if there is any requirement by the customer, that will be taken as one demand in the system. One demand in the SAP system. SAP system. If sales and distribution department is getting any requirement from the customers, so it will update that requirement as demand in the SAP system, SAP ERP system. After that maintenance of demand in the SAP system, every department, every other department will get to know about the demand. For that, they need to work. There is one production house, so they will intimate about the production of those finished goods. Warehouse, just to provide all the required items to the production house. After warehouse, there are quality management, quality management. And if those items, those raw materials are not available, so ultimately procurement department. So if production house is having any kind of like one particular requirement for the raw material, or they are intimating to the warehouse, they are finding it difficult to have those items. So ultimately they are reaching to the procurement department. So this is how procurement department will get to know about the requirements of what? Requirements of the raw materials. Second, requirements of what? The external services. So from here, actual procurement will be started. One more slide I'm adding here. Now see, that is the procurement department in the center. They are getting what? From the production house, they are getting the requirement of the materials. Requirement of materials means what is the finished goods? Now take the example, such as the networking router. Networking router is the finished goods. To manufacture, to produce that networking router, what can we do? We simply can categorize this networking router in the bill of materials. Bill of materials. Okay, that we call BOM. BOM. We call it BOM. BOM. So networking router can be manufactured by using a number of items such as item body, electrical wires, electrical wires, connecting connecting wires, then electronic PCBs that we call motherboards, etc. If you see material 1, material 2, material 3, and material 4, combinedly we can say it is the combination of all the materials. So production house is doing one thing on the basis of that requirement for the of the customer. It is producing what? It is producing one bomb, and in front of every material, quantities are mentioned. Quantities are mentioned. For example, 100, 200, 100, 400. If in one like router, one item body, maybe in per like networking router, two electrical wires, one connecting wires, four electronic PCBs. Like this, to manufacture 100 quantities. So we need 200 quantities of electrical wires and 400 items of that electronics PCBs. So now BOM is prepared and information is provided to the production department, procurement department. So one of the date of delivery will be mentioned. Date of delivery. After that, quantity, quantity, as well as maybe source of supply can be maintained. Source of supply can be maintained. Not in the requirement, but later on there will be one thing, purchase requisition. Now, in the P2P cycle, first thing has been covered. Now we are here and we are taking the first purchasing document, that is one purchase requisition. So one purchase requisition is a kind of request to the purchasing department to intimate about the requirement of the different departments to procure a certain quantity of that material or of that service from the external agencies. So number first thing, it is the request or instruction. Request or instruction. Because there are internal departments who are producing that purchase requisition or who are making that request or providing those instructions. That is why we call it the internal documents. Now, one purchasing requisition is used or utilized to give notification of requirements of materials or external services to and keep track of such requirement. That is very important. To provide the request or instruction, that is okay, but to track of such requirement is one of the main feature. Is one of the main feature. Now moving further, a purchase requisition is a time dependent, time independent. Internal document, that is okay. Why time independent? When there is any validity period, when there is any validity period to be provided to one purchasing document, so that document will be valid under that period only. For example, from today to 27/11/2024. So it is only 1 year. It is only 1 year of time. So that document will not be valid after this date. That is why that document will be valid under that date. So it will be one time dependent document. But when you look at the purchase requisition, there is no such validity period. That is why one purchase requisition is a time independent internal document in any enterprise.